Tomorrow in Canada, Christianity's on trial. Not just freedom of speech, but let's be blunt. Christianity's on trial. Pastor Artur Pawlowski, who we've had on many times before with his trials and tribulations. Pastor, tell us what happens tomorrow in Calgary.
Thank you so much for having me on your show again. It's always a privilege and a pleasure. Tomorrow is trial of the century, and I'm not kidding you. Tomorrow, not Artur Pawlowski, a little pastor from Calgary, Alberta, is on trial, but Canada is on trial. The Crown Prosecutor is not calling witnesses anymore. The Crown Prosecutor said that my sermon to the truckers during the truck convoy is criminal in nature. What did I say at the border of Montana and Alberta in Coutts? I told Canadians to stand up for the rights, to do it peacefully, to do it solidarity style, no guns, no swords, but to stand up for our rights. Well, the Crown Prosecutor with RCMP, it's like your FBI, decided that this kind of talk is criminal. So tomorrow, the 2nd of February, I have to appear before the judge. It's a grand finale of my over 100 court cases, 16 arrests, and 340 citations. I am the first and the only Canadian ever to be charged under the interfering of the crucial infrastructure under the Defense Act, like terrorism. I have also been charged with mischief over 5,000, which has 10 years of imprisonment and a breach of probation. So I was arrested outside of my house by RCMP, detectives, undercover police, SWAT team, and uniformed Calgary police. Interrogated for hours, stripped naked, put in solitary confinement for 45 days, metal cages. They would drag me from my cell. They would put me to a concrete cell, no water, no washrooms. Then they would lock me up hundreds of miles away without the knowledge of my family and my lawyers in a MAGspot. MAGspot is a prison for the most dangerous offenders in the province of Alberta. And then, as you know, they took me to a psych ward without the evaluation of the doctors, without the knowledge of Alberta Health Services. Everything they have done to me is criminal, is against the law, against the Criminal Code of Canada, against the Constitution, against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And tomorrow is the great showtime. So all the media are coming. If I lose, Canada has lost freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and Canada will no longer be a country where freedom of religion is protected.
I just want to make sure this is I got this correct and the audience got this correct, because we're going to be covering this extensively. The powerful sermon you gave to the truckers on the Alberta-Montana border, they're saying that is criminal speech. That is basically what they're going to show tomorrow as your crimes are embodied in that sermon, sir.
That's right. The Crown Prosecutor with the Premier of Alberta stated publicly that I was inciting people to commit acts of violence. Here's what I learned, which is quite fascinating. The Crown Prosecutor tomorrow is going to try to persuade the judge that the solidarity movement that I, of course, watched and I was referring to was a violent movement. I mean, the whole government in Poland is the government from that era, a solidarity era. And I'm telling you, I saw it with my own eyes. The solidarity movement was a peaceful non-compliance, like your civil rights movement in the United States. So it's going to be a gong show. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. They're pushing and pushing and pushing. And more, I'm feeling like I am once again living behind the Iron Curtain in China.
Artur, Pastor, we're going to get back to you just real quickly. We only got like 30 seconds. Do you intend to back down at all in your preaching of the word of the living Christ, sir?
Never, never, never. Jesus went all the way to the cross. People were martyred, murdered. I saw people being shot, tanks on the streets when I was growing up. You see, good people don't bow before evil. Lions do not bow before the hyenas.
Artur Pawlowski, real quickly, social media, how do they get you, Pastor?
www.streetchurch.ca, streetchurch.ca.
We will push this out everywhere. Another patriot and hero, and another person prosecuted and persecuted for lived Christianity. We'll be back at 5 o'clock. Charlie Kirk takes up right now on Real America's Voice. The Charlie Kirk Show will be back from 5 to 7, and we will be on fire. See you then.